it's Friday. You know what that means. Let's do our Friday dance. Are you ready? It's Friday. Woo, woo, Friday. Woo, woo. Okay, let's look up at our board. It says, good morning, friends. Today is Friday, March 20th. And you write a 20, just like this. A 2 and a 0. A 2 and a 0 make up the number 20. Let's do our Days of the Week song. Are you ready? Days of the Week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Nice job. Kiss your brain. All right. Remember, it's March. So we are going to do our months of the year song. And when we say March, remember, you're going to say it loud. Are you ready? Here we go. There's January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, and December. These are the months of the year. Good job, friend. You did it. Say, I'm such a good singer. Awesome. So Miss Fisher has a question up here. It says, what was your favorite part of this week? And I know we haven't been at school for a little bit, so you've been at home, and there's lots of fun things going on at home. So I want you to think right now, turn your brain on, and think. What was your favorite part of this week? That is so cool. Awesome. I'm so happy you had a fun week at home. All right. So I know I said yesterday we're going to read our favorite story, the true story of the Three Little Pigs. Remember, this is another version of the Three Little Pigs. Yesterday we read this one. And today we're going to read this version. It's by a different author. And this story is retold by John Seska. And it's illustrated by, which means that they did what? That's right, draw the pictures. It's illustrated by Lane Smith. So let's read the true story of Three Little Pigs. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Remember, this story is told through the wolf's perspective. That's how he sees things. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold, and I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of, that's right, straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house of straw? Do you think that's very sturdy? I think you're right. So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed, a great sneeze. And here's the little piggy. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have that cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of, that's right, sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, Wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you are not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family, because he had built his house of, that's right, bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker said? "Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my colds coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." Can you see him here in the peephole? Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. Would you loan a cup of sugar to the big bad wolf? I don't know. I don't think Miss Fisher would either. Nice job. Good listening skills, friends. All right, so I want us to think about the story that we just read. And I want you to think about the story we read yesterday. How are they the same and how are they different? So how are these 2 stories similar or the same? And how are they different? Because they're similar in some ways and they're different in other ways. So I want you to talk about that with mom or dad or grandmom or grandpop or even your sister or brother today, okay? Awesome. And guess what? It's going to be hot today. There might be some rain and some thunderstorms, but if it's not rainy or thunderstorming, maybe later, maybe we can go outside and enjoy the day. Maybe do some jumping jacks, or you can go for a walk, or maybe a nature scavenger hunt and find some leaves, some acorns, some sticks, and things like that. Okay? All right. Happy Friday, and I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.